Yes.
Yes, starting now.
Marius, I'm Lenny and we're going to be the coaches for today. We're always basically starting the session off with this picture. In surfing, whatever we do, if we have speed and we can control that speed, it will help our surfing, whether it is a turn, a hack, snap, any trick. Speed helps if you can control the speed. So we're always aiming for speed. And how do we generate speed? We are generating speed by surfing from the top of the wave down. By going down, we are generating that speed. On the same time, the most beautiful turn is done on top of the wave. That's why we are always aiming for that. We call it the 8, so that we're turning on top of the wave, going down, and have this fluid motion where we're aiming for maximum control while generating speed.
So basically, it's our hands, our head and our hips that always lead in the turn. My arms are opening up, my head opens up, and my knee as well, and my hips. So the whole body opens up before I even go into the turn. Because if I start turning my head here, then I stop for a second. And this is like the critical part, because we are really on top of the wave, but we don't have as much power. So we don't get stuck at this point and get dragged out of the wave. So start turning before, then we can already look to the other side of the wave. And we're always looking exactly where we're going. So we want to go to the top of the wave, so we look at top of the wave. If you start looking here, you're going to drive forward. So we want to look there and point with our arms. We've seen many times that people look and maybe one of the arms is going there as well, but the other arm blocks the rotation. So this arm stays here and then we can't really move. And then we get stuck again, we get dragged out of the wave. This is why we use both arms and we stay pretty low in the turn. So we're going low to keep the control. Down in the turn, when going out of the turn, we're going up, then we're going down, we're going up, we're going down. It gets kind of a dance. And this gives us flow in surfing.
As soon as I'm turning, I have the pressure on my back foot, and as soon as we reach the highest point and go out of the turn, we put full pressure on our front foot. There's nothing on our back foot anymore, because we're doing the turn on top of the wave. And if we're on top of the wave and put all the pressure on our back foot, well, then we're gonna just get dragged out. If we're aiming for that fluid motion, then we should never think of going straight. We're aiming a line like that. And the same thing with the bottom turn. We're not aiming like that, we're aiming like that. The other side, you should look earlier. You're doing the turn, after that you look, but in surfing, every movement starts with the head. The head is the first thing that moves.
Exactly, you were opening up too much, and then the board gets shaky. So for more control, little more like this, back foot all the way back.
Yes, nice! Yeah, that's because you're not looking. See, you're coming here, you do the turn. Yeah. You're not looking, you're not opening up, and now you look. You should be, if you're there, you should already be looking here. You turn faster.
Looking to the other side, and this arm went here, so you didn't move, and then you get dragged out of the wave. Oh, it gets shaky. Yeah. So then you lose the rhythm. So look earlier, then the turn comes faster. Nice, very good. Big. Focus on one thing at a time. So first of all, now the hand. Yeah, that was a lot better.
I think the turn in general looks good, but it's just a bit quicker. You're doing it right, but too late. You have to just do it quicker.
Nice. Beautiful.
And the reason why you feel like you're slow here is if you're doing that turn wrong, you're not opening up, then you're misplacing that turn. And if you're in the middle of the wave or in the bottom, then you cannot generate speed. It's over here.
Die Line runterfahren und dann die Line steil hochfahren.
Some general feedback, we've been super impressed by your level once again. There are a few things that we saw in your surfing that each and every one of you can improve on.
So now we wanted to start doing turns in the middle. So you really have to do it quicker. It's like kind of a rebound. You won't have that much time anymore to get into the next turn. Just to do everything a little quicker. So this is going to be the next step. And then as well, we're going to show you two maneuvers, the snap and the hack, which are really fundamental in surfing. And you can improve this maneuver over years. We're still working on it, and we've been working on it for 10 years. So it never gets old, and it can always get better.
Snap basically means that I would aim to go straight up, and then you're doing a 180-degree turn and going straight down. But this maneuver is a maneuver that is done in the ocean. We don't have a breaking wave here, so there are some surfers who try to do that, but it is super hard. What we want to focus on is the hack. The hack is a maneuver where we're not going straight up, but we're aiming for a 45-degree angle, try to generate as much speed as possible, and then we're doing a full stop to have as much spray as possible. So it is speed and stop.
Spray normally happens in the back part of your board, so it's in the tail. Means we have to push the tail with our back foot. And also bring the board on the rail. If the board is it's flat and you push the tail, you're just gonna fly over the board.
Whatever kind of turn, you never see the spray. So Marius and I, if we're doing the turn, we never for sure know how good the turn was. To bring the board on the rail, we're leaning back because we can't be super straight up and the board is like that. That doesn't work. We don't have that kind of feet. There are a few components. The first one being is that you just put a lot of pressure on your heel. The second one, which helps for me, but everybody does this maneuver differently. What I'm doing and explaining my customers is your back arm, put it into the water. Because if this one is in the water, then you're already leaning back.
Have in mind that you're attacking the upper part of the wave. As you know, if we stay in this area, we're going to get dragged out. And as you have been doing in your normal turns, you have been putting pressure on your front foot to stay in the wave. Now at this maneuver, we stop. When we stop, we even have less speed and need more power on the front foot to stay in the wave. So we push here, and then our next move, as Lenny said, is to bring our hips to our front foot. And while we're doing that, the arm position shifts from here to there. So upper body moves to the front foot as well. So a lot of more weight goes to the front foot. I'm doing it because it helps me. I put my hand on the nose. So even more weight is coming to the front. And yeah, Lenny doesn't do it, I do it, I lay my knee on the board.
Every maneuver that we're doing, whether it's a frontside snap, a carve, whatever, starts in the bottom turn. So if I'm doing a maneuver here, the maneuver starts here. And when I'm doing a backside snap, I open up, and then when I reach the point where I want to do the turn, I'm closing. And it is a fluid motion, so there's whoom, bam. Since we've been pushing a lot with our back foot and we're on top of the wave again, we once again need to have pressure on our front. I am putting my hand on my nose, and you have to put it on the inside range, so not here, but here. This is important for riding out of the maneuver. You don't have to put your hand here if you don't like it, it's a matter of style, but by putting the hand there, we're kind of tricking our body into putting automatically the pressure to the front.
If it's not on the board, just make sure that it's going down. That helps, and especially keep your arms in front of your body.
but this hand just stays like that in the water. And then, as soon as you kick, we have that motion from there to there.
Since you've talked about boards, we thought about giving you a quick rundown on equipment. If we're pushing really hard, which we are doing because we want to do nice sprays and massive maneuvers, a board that has a short rail line isn't going to hold, so we can't really push as hard. And on the other side, if we're going too long and our board is 5'9", which I had, for example, 5'9" is too long and it gets stiff, you can't turn it as nicely anymore. And for tricks, it will be too big overall for the waves that we have here.
5'7" is long in river surfing. It's probably harder to do a turn with it, but you have more rail. More rail means you can lean into the turn longer. Because if you look at our videos, we do a carve, there's going to be water to this point. So we're really using the whole side of the board.
The biggest difference, I would say, is that in the ocean you have to paddle into the wave, so you need volume. And the biggest difference there is the thickness of the board. So this board is for me really thick in the river, but this wouldn't work at all in the ocean because it's just too thin. That is the first component, and the other one is the length. Those are the main differences.
And also where the volume is in the board. You can have lots of volume in the nose, which you need from paddling, because if you want to get into the wave, you need volume here. In river surfing, we're mainly surfing in the back foot, so we have a lot of volume in the back. And this is why you should probably buy your boards from a river surf brand rather than an ocean surf brand. Because the ocean boards, they work in the river, but they are not made for the river.
I like the routine, and for example, before a competition or something, when I'm getting nervous and everything, it is just a routine that I have to wax my board, and I think it looks pretty, and there's no right or wrong, it's just a personal preference.
Like only doing carves and maneuvers like this, then I feel it's really nice to have a front pad because you never have to wax. But if you're doing tricks, your feet are gonna shuffle to the front of the board. So then you have to wax again. So then you have both. Then you have the track pad and the wax.
Let's say here in winter it is imaginary -5 degrees. Then you would need an extra cold wax. And then you're going to Bali and there you have 30 degrees, so you need a tropical wax. So you need to change the wax all the time. With a pad, you never have to change. The carbon fins are super sharp and you can easily cut yourself. Like I've got a big cut here, I've had a cut here, I've cut my feet open. This board is one that I'm riding, and as you can see, it has a lot of rocker here. And this board is made for waves that are super steep and powerful. Because I don't want to do nosedive, I don't want to dig my nose, that's why I have a lot of rocker. Thank you very much.